Good, beautiful, but early morning from Magic Kingdom Fresh Baked. Welcome to another episode of Fresh Baked and Stuff here at Magic Kingdom. I am your host, Laramie Williams, and you guys, this is fantastic. First of all, look at this. There's no one here because it's so stinking early. It's like 6:30. No, that's not true. It's like 7:15. But I'm here to take the Magic Behind Our Steam Trains tour with this group of fine people right here. It's possible because of all the muffins, because you guys are fantastic. Everyone that's been keeping the show going and supporting me through my Patreon campaign at patreon.com/Laramie Williams has made this tour possible, so thank you guys so much. I don't really have any idea what to expect, you guys. It's going to be a lot of fun to take this tour, yeah. So we're going to learn about the trains, which is Walt's favorite. So, woo! I'm filming. I'm filming. So it's going to be super cool, you guys, but I better go join this tour group now. He's giving me instructions on what to do, so I'll be right back with you. Yay, look at this, you guys. This is so cool. I got a nifty little a pin, a special pin with my name on it. The Magic Behind Our Steam Trains. It's going to be a lot of fun, you guys. So apparently there's going to be earbuds with audio. So pretty much what I'm going to have to do to make sure you guys get to see this is just stay right up front by our tour guide, who it looks like his name's Taylor. And hopefully you guys will be able to hear everything. But yeah, I think either way you're going to get to see some fun stuff. And with the magic of editing, David will narrow down this 2.5 hour tour to stuff you guys can watch and are interested in. But I think it's going to be a lot of fun, you guys.
Well, good morning once again, and welcome to Disney's The Magic Behind Our Steam Trains tour. You all are in for a real treat today. This is one of the most fun tours that we have here at Walt Disney World, and it really caters to a lot of different people. In fact, I like to say that this group caters to about 3 different groups of people because of its wide spectrum. First group of people, people who absolutely love trains. How many of you fit into that group? Big train fans. Yeah, good. Second group of people that this caters to, people who love Disney history. How many of you here really love Disney history? Ooh. Yeah. Third group, people who really love trains or Disney history. How many of you fit into that group? Yes. This tour. This is a very, very fun tour and a very interesting experience because you get to learn not just about our steam trains, but about the history of the man who's behind all of these steam trains, Walt Disney. The reason we have these trains here is because of Walt himself and his undying love for steam trains that he had throughout his entire life. And we're going to explore all of that today. But the trains are located inside the Magic Kingdom, so in order to do that, we need to go into the park. You all have your park tickets? Let's head in. Steam train store. Let's talk a little bit about the very first building that you see when you come into the Magic Kingdom. It's this one, the train station. A lot of people don't expect it to be the train station. They expect to see a castle when they first arrive at the Magic Kingdom. Nope. You get to see a train station instead. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the trains are inside the park, and right now we are not really inside the park. We need to get into the Magic Kingdom in order to see those trains. So follow me this way, and today, you all will be the very first guests of the day to enter the Magic Kingdom. As you start running towards it, yes. Now, since you are the very first guests of the day to enter the park, what that means is that you will see it as though you never have before. It will be completely empty.
Wow.
There it is.
There it is. You have never seen Main Street this empty before, have you? I think it's just the right spot to see it. So if you're standing right about here, you can go ahead and take a look up at the train station itself. Take a look.
Oh, hey!
Some of you see it right away. That's good. The light that's closest to us on the ceiling, as well as the 2 speakers closest to us on the ceiling as well.
That's awesome.
3 circles around those form a perfect distance. All right, the train has arrived. We are about to board the train. You all have got to do something really cool this morning. You got to come into the park before it opens for guests. We're going to do something else that's really cool as well. You are going to ride a Disney attraction before the park is open. They go out of teamwork to operate this train. You might think that it is the engineer and the fireman up in the front of the train that control everything. And while they do control the motion of the train, it is ultimately up to the conductor to tell them to go. The conductor is the boss of the train, even though he's all the way in the back. The way the conductor and the engineer and the fireman communicate is through a series of buzzers and through a series of whistles. There's a buzzer on the very back of the train that the conductor will be buzzing buzzing in a series of basically different patterns, whether they're long or short buzzers. That buzzer is going to sound in the cab of the train, and the buzzer will sound loudly in there, enough so that the fireman and the engineer will be able to hear it, and they will respond using the whistle, usually with the same signal. Sometimes they might signal something different back if they see something that the conductor does not. But it's the constant communication back and forth between both ends of the train, between the conductor in the back and the engineer and the fireman up in the front. Good morning. How are you? How are you? Why would I get?
Morning.
Good morning. Morning.
Morning.
I'm going to take the front row. If you all want to take the next few rows, feel free to go ahead. Smaller children towards the inside, please. So get one last look at it.
There she
First
goes.
thing we're going to do is head straight into the jungles of Adventureland, which in a way is a homecoming of sorts for these trains. We found these trains in another jungle, the jungles of Mexico, down the Yucatan Peninsula. These trains were all assembled in the early 1900s to 1920s by Baldwin locomotives out of Philadelphia, but they were sold to the United Railways of the Yucatan. They spent about 40 years hauling rope and fiber up and down the Yucatan Peninsula. We found them in the 1960s, bought 4 of them, refurbished them, and now they run here at the Walt Disney World Railroad. These are genuine antique steam trains, still running on steam power. We use 80% original parts, so these are genuinely the antique thing, the real deal. You're about to hear a whistle that's unique, so we'll hear it a few times on the railroad here today. It is our crossing whistle. We're going to blow it every time we reach some sort of big crossing for vehicles. We're hearing it now. It's 2 long whistles, then a short whistle, then a long whistle. Since we like to alert everyone who's in that crossing that the train is coming, we remember that one by saying, "Here comes the train." 2 long, short, 2 long. Now this is not a crossing for cars, this is in fact a crossing for something pretty unique to us here in the Magic Kingdom, parade floats. This crossing right here is where parade floats will cross to get from backstage to front. We're hearing that whistle again in just a moment, so we're going to pass another parade float crossing too. But before that we're going to go into a tunnel, it's a pretty important tunnel today. It relates to an attraction that I'm sure a lot of you have been on, Pirates of the Caribbean. How many of you have been on Pirates of the Caribbean? Pirates of the Caribbean opened here in 1973. That was 2 years after the railroad and the parks did. There wasn't enough room left inside the railroad tracks to put Pirates of the Caribbean. We built it out there in that building you see up ahead. That's where Pirates of the Caribbean is located. But you board Pirates of the Caribbean on this side of the railroad tracks, don't you? So how do you get into that building when you're riding the attraction? You have to cross the train tracks at some point, right? That's right, you go underneath it. Right now, we are above the drop in Pirates of the Caribbean. We're right above the drop. When you go down the drop, it takes you underneath the train tracks and into that building. Second parade float crossing is coming up. Sometimes we give you some insight on the train tracks. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad isn't the only place we have a swing bridge here at the Magic Kingdom. The Walt Disney World Railroad has one as well. We are about to cross the swing bridge. It's one of the oldest pieces of our railroad. It comes from Henry Flagler's railroad that ran up and down East Coast of Florida. The fun thing about this swing bridge is that it still works. We can still rotate this bridge out of the way. Why do we do that? It's called the Liberty Bell Riverboat. Whenever we need to do any maintenance to the Liberty Bell Riverboat, we will rotate that bridge out of the way. We'll bring the Liberty Bell right through there with the inches of clearance on either side to get these right off. That that yellow and green light that you see back there is the track switch. In just a moment, we will have a maintenance cast member come out and throw that track switch to take us back to the roundhouse facility, which means that not only do you get to come in the park before anyone else today, not only do you get to ride something here in the park before it opens today, but you're also about to do something else that's pretty cool. You're going to be riding the Walt Disney World Railroad backwards. Good morning.
How's everybody today?
Now I do mention at this point we are entering the only photosensitive corridor of the tour. So from the moment we start moving backwards until the moment we get off the train at the roundhouse, no photographs or video of any kind. This train's going to back up to the proper staging location for us. We'll be able to explore it a little bit later on today. But go ahead and take a look at the roundhouse. First thing you may notice about this roundhouse is it ain't round, right? Most usual traditional roundhouses are built round with a large turntable in them. The reason we would have a large turntable there is so that we can go ahead and rotate these trains and get them coupled up to whichever set of cars they need to be coupled up to. However, here, since we only have 4 locomotives and we knew we were only going to have 5 bays in the roundhouse, we don't need to build a round one. We also have a square roundhouse to store everything. In addition, we can also use it to serve as the monorail stop. We have facilities to service 10 of our 12 monorails up above the train roundhouse. 10 of them will stay inside there overnight. The other 2 will be parked out at the train station center overnight. We'll rotate those 2 out, but those 2 will stay out overnight, 2 nights in a row. There's a few fun features about our roundhouse as well. You'll notice when we get a little bit closer to it, there's a large vent in place that's located right above where the locomotive sits. So you'll notice the ventilation system up top, basically a large version of the vent that you would find up above your kitchen stove. Also down below, you'll see another fun feature, that is the pit. There's a pit below each one of these bays for maintenance cast members to go underneath and check every single car before we ever take it out in operation. You may notice these stop signs that you see on the ground here in the yard. Those stop signs are in place for the cast members who work on the railroad. For the morning check, the engineer will hold these cars on these so these passenger cars were built for us. These are not original passenger cars, but they are pretty old. They were built about 45 years ago for us. In fact, that's a little longer ago than that. These are what we call Narragansett-style excursion cars. We built the excursion cars a little bit different than we built the cars for the Disneyland Railroad out in California. How many of you here have been to Disneyland? You've been on the Disneyland Railroad. One of the things that you might remember is that a lot of the cars for the Disneyland Railroad have side-facing seats. If you haven't been to Disneyland, have you been over to Animal Kingdom to Rafiki's Planet Watch? You've been on the train there, they have side-facing seats as well. So the seats actually don't face forward, they face out towards the interior of the park. At Disneyland, we noticed it was a little bit of an efficiency issue because those trains are very difficult to load and unload. Whereas with these excursion-style cars, we have side-loading seats, so it's very easy to get people on and off of these cars. This is the tender. The tender is what is responsible for holding all of the fuel and all of the water that we use to run the steam train. Now, originally, these trains burned coal or wood. We converted them, they now burn them to diesel. As such, these are not the original tenders. This was sort of built for us specifically for the train. Since it's custom built, it's got 2 tanks in it. 1 tank to hold the fuel, which is the smaller tank, 664 gallons of fuel. The larger tank holds the water, 1,837 gallons of water. The only place we can refuel the train is back here at the roundhouse. We're going to do that about once every 2 weeks, or no, excuse me, twice every week, I'm sorry. The roundhouse itself is where we fuel it up, but on the route is where we get the water. There's 1 water tower here, and that is at the Fantasyland train station. So at the Fantasyland train station, we can refill up the tender with water. We use about 200 gallons of water every hour. So with 1,800 plus gallons in here, we could go, in theory, 9 hours without ever having to refill the tender. There's a fun little Disney touch on this tender as well, in this box back here. This box houses a generator that powers all of the electrical components of the train. The generator creates electricity using some of the steam from the locomotive itself. So we actually channel some of that steam back here into this generator to create the electricity. So even the electrical components of these trains are running on steam power. Everything about this train runs on steam. How many of you here know how a steam train works? The 3 youngest ones in the group are the only ones to raise their hand. Alright, so for all of you bigger kids in the back, I'm going to explain to you how the steam engine works. And what you'll notice is that it's actually a pretty simple process. We use a lot of very simple terminology and it does sort of flow very logically. It all starts right down here, this large box. That large box is called the firebox. Quite simply, the firebox is a box that holds the fire. Pretty simple, right? Fire's going to create heat. The heat will travel through a draft into the boiler. The boiler starts at this brass ring right here. It's going to continue all the way up to this brass ring right here. This large green tube section, that is the boiler. Through the boiler, run a sort of honeycomb pattern of tubes called flues. Best way to think of flues. Have you ever seen a brand new box of straws? Let's talk about this, what we see right here. This pump is the brake pump. So that's responsible for the braking of our trains. Now, where do you think the brakes are located here on the train? Where do you think, Ethan?
There.
There? Well, no, they're not actually on the locomotive or on the tender. All of the brakes are located on the cars, yeah. So it's the cars dragging the locomotive to a stop here on our railroad, not the other way around. The reason for that, well, remember, this is a theme park attraction. You're facing forward in those seats. If we were to have brakes up here, you'd be dragged to a stop and you'd be pulled forward out of your seat. But if you're dragging the locomotive to a stop, you're actually being pushed back into your seat while the train is braking. So it's another one of those safety mechanisms. It also means that if we ever need to uncouple this train and recouple it to a new set of cars, the engineer and the firemen have to be very careful because they're doing this with no brakes on the locomotive. Something else that we don't use on this train, that's here for purely cosmetic reasons, this right here. This is a replica antique oiler, or a drip oiler. Does not function. It's there solely for decoration. Back in the day, in order to create some sort of lubricant for the train, what would happen is you would place pig fat or pig lard in there. The heat from the train would cause that to melt, and you take that melted lard or fat and use it to lubricate the parts of the train that we needed to go ahead and have greased up. Well, eventually, of course, oil came around to do this purpose as well. And it was the fireman's job to oil all the vital parts of the train. Now, these need to be oiled up about every 10 miles or so. Do you think back in the heyday of railroading companies that they wanted to stop every 10 miles to go ahead and oil up the train? No, they didn't really want to do that. So what they did is they made the firemen back in this time climb out onto the running boards of the train with a long-necked oil can and lean down and oil all of the vital parts of the train while it was in motion. Not safe, right? We lost a lot of oil cans that way. We also had many an injury to our firemen as well. And eventually one man got so fed up with all these injuries, his name was Elijah McCoy. He said, I'm going to create a better way to go ahead and oil these trains. And that's when he created this. This is a McCoy-style automatic oiler. You may see that there's a little miniature drive arm here that's attached to the D valve. All we do is fill that up with oiler, and then while the train is moving, that drive arm is going to go ahead and pump and use the movement of the train to actually pump oil to all of the vital parts. So it will oil the train while it is moving to make sure that we never have to worry about having someone come out along the sides. Now, as I mentioned, this was invented by a man named Elijah McCoy. His oiler was very, very successful. In fact, it was so successful that other people began creating their own sort of version of his oiler. But the engineers and the firemen knew which brand of these worked best. And so whenever a new crew was coming on to relieve an old crew from a train, the very first question that new crew or that old crew would be asked was, hey, does this train have the real McCoy? One more part of the train to talk about, which is right up here in the front. This red device is properly called the pilot, although you probably know it by a different name. The cow catcher, yeah. It is the job of the pilot, or the cow catcher, to gently brush away any debris or obstacles that you may find in the track in front of you. Let's just say it's painted red for a reason, and we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. So while we're pausing with this tour here, Fresh Baked, because he's, so the tour guide is taking different guests, as he said, 4x4 into the caboose, not the caboose, yeah, that thing, the area, right there, the red thing, the red box, that's where they're at. I thought I'd just pause and give my thoughts so far. I think it's like super cool, right? How often do you get to see all this stuff? Unless you pay for it. You don't. I don't know. This is a lot of fun. I really want to touch this stuff though, but he said don't touch it because it'll stay on you like all day, and I don't want any of my stuff yellow. Maybe I'll rub my magic band on it because that won't matter. But this is cool, and he's like, he said we're allowed to film back here, all in the whole backstage area, which is really cool. Because this road that you see out here, that goes right by the Contemporary. And it goes right out there. He wouldn't, as you saw, let me film going backwards, but there wasn't really anything to see. We just rode the train backwards right up to here, and then he said we can turn on our cameras and stuff. But yeah, super informative. I'm having a lot of fun so far. But I think our turn is coming up here pretty quick. But I got some great pictures in front of this train right here. So if you haven't already, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram. You'll see these pictures on here. But Instagram, Fresh Baked WDW, and Twitter at Laramie Williams. So yeah, I think we're gonna continue our little tour here. We'll continue our little tour.